Our new record is called What About Now? I think it's a snapshot of a period in time between September of 2011 and July 2012, but addresses a lot of what was going on in the country and perhaps then in the world because of it. But ultimately, as in most Bon Jovi records, there's always an underlying theme of optimism.
We're telling a story of optimism, and it comes from what we've seen on the road and experiencing different cultures.
There were those in the country at the time of the election that were saying things like, "I believed," past tense, and I gave it. I tried. It didn't work out for me. Why should I be involved again? Why should I care if I'm disappointed?
Some of that stuff seeps into the songs and stuff like that. It's certainly not a downer of a record. A song like Because We Can, obviously, is if you can help somebody, do it. Why?
The answer is quite simple. Because we can. We have to. That's all that we can rely on is each other. We made our reputation being a live band, and no matter what album it was and what fads and fashions we're in or not in, we're always a big ticket seller, and people would come to know that when we played, we'd play all the hits, we'd play for a long time, and we'd give you real value for the money. And so we've always been trying to be cutting edge in the production, and this is no exception.
It's a brand new production. I mean, we always try to think out of the box and do something new we've never done before. And for that fact, maybe nobody has ever done before. So there's a lot of good surprises.
This stage is really cutting edge with the technology. You have to come and see it to appreciate it.
You got to make it visually enticing for people that comes to the show. Not only musically, we change things in many variables, but it's important to see visually. That's it's another sense that's important for a show.
It's really a big, big production.
Just another grain of sand. Oh yeah, the one you run to when you need a shoulder. I am a soldier, I'm here to take a stand. I don't wanna be another wave in the ocean.
Doing the album cover was fun. With Lou Bolin, it was very creative to have a great artist like that and being part of the art. And
painting your face and hair.
Yeah, it was
interesting.
We said we need to have an album cover in order to get the message out there. And the initial concept was simply put that logo. You've got a 1 inch by 1 inch piece of real estate on the computer screen, so might as well just put that on and people recognize it. One day I was at an art fair and I saw the work of Lou Bolin, the Chinese artist who's sometimes known as the Invisible Man. He paints himself into the backgrounds of pictures so that you'd walk by and you'd see, for instance, that Heart and Dagger, but in truth he was painted into it. And I thought, what a great idea. I wonder if he'd ever consider a commission, to which the art dealer laughed at me and said, "You don't know who Lou Bolin is, do you?" And I said, "No, I don't." So now my education begins. Unbeknownst to me, somewhere in Beijing, China, lives Lou Bolin, and more importantly, Mrs. Lou Bolin, who happens to be a Bon Jovi fan. And word got to them, and she said, "Guess what? We're going to America. You're doing a commission because I want to meet the band." And so they came to America, and then we had the opportunity to create this great mural highlighting key elements of lyric throughout the record. And then in turn, he physically painted us into the background, and then they take a photograph of it.
Who stand for the restless and the lonely, for the desperate and the hungry, we're down for the count.
It was a 2-day process. The first day was the clothes, and the second day was everything from the neck up and your hands. That's when it became difficult. Standing there in the clothes, you could sort of breathe and move, but when you were painted from here to here, you had to close your eyes and hold your breath, and he'd shoot, and they would give you a little straw to keep your lip in, and that was it.
It was patience. But that's part of the scheme.
But the cherry on top is my 8-year-old son Romeo, who came home with his Halloween costume catalog, and he said, "Look, Dad," and it had an app on the cover, and the little boy was dressed as Batman on it. And if you got the app for free, and you did it with your phone or your iPad, Batman's eyes flickered, and a cartoon bat took off. And then the light bulb went off again in my head, and I went, ah. So then we took this amazing art and created this augmented reality in which we walk out of the paint. And it's all about technology.
being able to go with apps and do something electronically to induce your persona, which of course the video comes out of that, and that was a lot of fun. I mean, there's 4 videos within one, which is kind of cool.
But we were willing to do that, and we're not willing to do much at this stage of our careers. But we were willing to do that because it was so unique. It was just so incredibly unique. You know, nobody's ever done anything like that.
It's my life, it's now or never. I ain't gonna live forever.
And so whether it was this production that we've taken a lot of time and effort on, or our album art, which has turned into an incredible story in and of itself, the last thing that anyone wanted to do was make another video.
Guys like us have been doing these kind of things, man, for a long, long time, you know, and album covers and photo shoots and videos and stuff like that. It's painful.
In this case, what happened was we took that augmented reality artwork and the imagery from the mural that is our album cover and created 4 distinctly different videos for Because We Can, that if you click on any of the 4 icons, you'll see a different storyline to go with the song, but you have the opportunity to put them together in any way you see fit and make your own.
So when there's something new that happens in our career as a band, whether it's an album cover or whether it's a cool tilt on one of our songs on a video, or it's a new territory that we're opening up, or maybe a territory that we haven't visited in 15 years or so, or something like that. That's the kind of exciting thing to me, because then we get to go back and say, oh, wow, it was different before, or something's happening, you know, or we're evolving the band in some particular way. That is always fun for us.
The tour concluded in Portugal on July 31st, 2011.
That was a massive tour. It was like 18 and a half months and 52 countries.
And I told the guys, I'll see you in a couple years. A month later, I started writing the record.
Yeah, so we took a week off
Yeah.
and started again. It's like a long weekend.
You give love.
When the flow comes, you just start going with it. And I started to amass songs for no other reason but to write. One thing led to another, and here we are now, about to embark on yet another tour.
We're going to South Africa again, which is kind of cool.
We haven't been there in a long time.
96 was the last time. And, you know, and there's a few places, Poland and a couple other countries we've never been to. It's gonna be fun.
Yep, we got a couple new ones on the docket, so that's pretty cool.
I know what an uphill grind living out of a suitcase is for a year and a half at a time. I say that tonight to you, pre-night one. Post-night one, it's all smooth sailing. But between now and after the first night, you're like, oh, why do I do this? And then you get out there and you go, that's why I do this.
That's the fun of what we do. I think that's the end result.